Nowadays, it's kind of crazy the tools and tactics you have if you want to drive sales, okay? And particularly important is to actually drive sales using sound. It's just crazy. The amount of revenue you can generate, the amount of leads you can generate if you use sound appropriately. So, in today's conversation, I want to explain to you how to drive sales using sound. First of all, I want to give you a little overview so we are on the same page. We know exactly what we're talking about. It's really important to understand that no matter the industry you're in, I don't care the size, I don't care the industry you're in, I don't care the size of your business, whether you're a solopreneur, a one person business, or a multinational, you need sound nowadays. You know why? Because sound can contribute to your sales. And here is how you can actually use audio to improve your small business's revenue. So sound can be used to influence customers at a physical location. Think about it. When when your customers or your prospects are at a supermarket or in a shopping mall, for example, the way sound is used and the volume can either increase or decrease the time a customer spends at a business. Considering how sound relates to your brand is a critical part of employing audio for sales and marketing. So it's really important to understand the totality. When we speak about sound, we're not just having a one dimension thing. We're speaking about multiple dimensions. We're speaking about having a holistic approach to sound marketing. Okay. By the way, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. And we always have to engage this kind of conversation and really understand how sound can really help your business. So when you think about marketing, you might think of a static visual ad, such as a magazine spread, a billboard, or advertisement on social media. However, there are many other ways that your business can strengthen its brands and drive sales. One of those ways is using sound. So when we talk about sound or audio marketing, it is less about the spoken word than about using tones, ambient sounds, and music to connect with customers on a very emotional level. And sound can be used to market your brands, drive sales, and connect with customers. It only takes about 0.15 seconds for a human being to hear and interpret the sound. This makes sound a direct avenue to a customer's emotion and can lead to increased brand recognition for your company, really, when you think about it. Okay. And we have HBR, Harvard Business Review, has worked on this. There was actually an article not long ago in the Wall Street Journal that talked about the importance of having the proper sound strategy to boost sales in the long run. Let me actually give you a review here. Let's have a quick conversation about the different types of audio marketing. So here's a review I want you to really pay attention to. So when we talk about different types of audio marketing, you can use. It's really important to understand the plurality of avenues here. You can use sound in a variety of ways depending on what you are trying to achieve. Okay. So here in our view, in our research, the key strategy is to use sound in your marketing efforts. We have actually found three of them. They are really good. You have Sonic logo. So your business probably already has a graphic visual logo. But did you know that you can also have a Sonic logo? So a Sonic logo is a short series of notes that is unique to your business. And so Sonic logos include the dramatic "The Dawn" of Netflix, NBC's cresting xylophone notes, the McDonald's "I'm loving it" whistle tune, and MasterCard's synthesized tones. Okay, Sonic logos strengthen your brand and are usually played while your visual logo is displayed in a video or television ad. They actually reinforce your company's branding. Okay, so this is kind of cool. And so in the examples I just gave you, the sounds communicate certain moods and themes. So for example, when you think about Netflix, you got to think about what drama, excitements, right? When you think about NBC, you think about balanced family entertainment. When you think about McDonald's, casual and carefree. You think about MasterCard, modern and digital, ready for e-commerce. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to drive sales using sound. Okay, very important. So, besides sonic logos, you also have soundscapes. So, soundscapes are custom created, continuous, or long lasting combinations of music with other sounds. So, they are meant to set a mood. So, for example, a resort wear store may have a soundscape that combines Caribbean steel drum music with the sound of surf and seagulls, with a little of tinkling of ice in a glass mixed in. Okay, and a store selling whimsical clothing for young girls could have a soundscape that includes flute music, trilling magical sounds. Soundscapes can be used in retail environments, healthcare, soothing sounds to alleviate anxiety, or at events. It really depends on what you're trying to achieve. You can also have music. So playing music in a business environment, in store or on hold music, is the most commonly used form of sound marketing because it is the easiest to implement. Many stores play music from commercial-free satellite radio or curated song lists from Spotify or Sonic branding companies. Alternatively, you can also commission custom music for your industry. So let me give you a few pro tips here, and this is really important. So here are a few considerations in choosing your sound. Okay, you can achieve the following by playing music at your business. You can inspire emotion. You can influence consumer behavior. You can tell your brand story. This is really important. So when we talk about inspiring emotions, do you want customers to feel secure, lighthearted, or calm? These are questions you should consider when selecting tones or music to play at your business. The sounds in the environment can shape how customers feel during their visit. You can influence consumer behavior. So most retail businesses want customers to spend more time in their stores, so they spend more money. So a slower tempo is best. Fast food and casual and fast casual restaurants benefits from quicker table turnover, so a more upbeat tempo will help create the fast-paced environment. And you can tell your brand story. So the music you will play in your store, let's say in a store for teens, for example, will be wildly different from that played in the waiting area of a private banker. If you think about it, think about what your customer's music taste is, and you want to go back to the emotion you want to elicit to inform your music selection. Okay. And so when we talk about consideration in choosing your sound, you want to choose distinct and memorable sounds. You want to try to differentiate your business from your competitors with sound. If your competitors plays a certain type of music in their store, playing something different, okay, you want to play something different that is thoughtfully geared towards two things: differentiation, so that your sound, you actually sound different than all the other competitors, but even more important is sound that are perfectly in sync with the kinds of experiences people want to have while they are at your establishments. Okay, so you want to choose sounds specific to your business. So the auditory experience can reflect actually your business's culture and values. Okay, it should also complement your brains and provide a fresh look into the story behind your business. This is really important. This is what we call. There has to be harmony. There has to be synergy. There has to be synchronicity between the auditory experience that you want to convey versus the kind of the kind of mission and vision that you want to have. Also, you want to choose the right tempo. This is so important. It is just crazy. I mean, the pace and beats of the music you play can also have a direct impact on the overall feel of your store, as well as the buying habits of your customer. Okay, so you got to ask yourself, do you want customers to spend more money? Do you want customers to spend more time at your store? Do you want customers to actually do you want customers not to think too long before buying something? I mean, like if you're selling very expensive items, you don't want customers to think too long before making a purchase. So you'll be having a fast-paced beat, so that customers really have they're really thinking real fast, and they can make a purchase even before having time to reconsider it. Okay, you don't want customers to spend 1 or 2 or 3 hours to think about buying a high value, like a very expensive item. But if you're selling like a low priced items, and because when we talk about low priced items, those items you make money through volumes, right? You make money through volumes, so you want people to buy a lot. So the more time they spend at your store, the better it is for you. So this is really important, okay? And one thing I want to say here is that we have seen actually that in our research, and that we're not the only one who actually have seen that. Many researchers have also said that the if you have the proper music at a supermarket, sales can go up from 30% to 50%. This is just crazy. Think about it. And in the case of some supermarkets, slow, mundane music subconsciously slows customers down. So they spend more time looking around at different products and end up buying more. Okay. By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's topic. What are we talking about here? We are speaking about how to drive sales using sound. Okay. And so it's really important again to remember that the sound strategy that you have must be in sync with your target audience. and it depends on the demographics. So the age of your audience depends on where they live. It depends on their habits. It depends on the kind of music they consume, really, because you have to, if you are dealing with a bunch of kids from like 15 to 18-year olds and trying to buy, let's say, if you're trying to draw them into a fitness store, you're not going to play some kind of a slow paced music, okay? And so it's really important to think about that. And you may want to play slower tempo music to have people really kind of look around and say, oh, that's this product that I was looking for. I'm buying all this other stuff, but let me get my my thoughts. Let me call my wife. Let me call my husband. You want people to spend more time, so please make sure that you adapt your sound strategy based on the mood you want to convey. Another thing I want you to think about if you are trying to drive sales using sound is to actually consider your audience. I've talked about it throughout this show, but I really want to go granular here. I really want to dwell a little bit on it because when we talk about sound strategy, when we talk about sound marketing, a lot of times small businesses they focus more and more on the sound itself, on the experience itself, but they don't pay attention to the listener, the person who's going to experience that sound, the customer who's going to live with that sound. So you need to think about it very, very seriously. You need to keep in mind when implementing sound into your business that your audience will play an important role. And you have to think about what context your audience is interacting with your product or service. Okay, so it's not just about the sound, it's about the context. When we talk about context, it's at the specific time they are interacting with your product or service. So it's important to know that your audience, they have their specificity. You know what they like or dislike, and how you can play this into your ideas with sound. Similarly, you want to understand the context within which your customers will be interacting with your services at a later time, not just now. Okay, and so this is important. And so when we talk about sound, we're also talking about timing. Obviously, you're not going to play the same sound, the same music in your store or at your business around the holidays in November or December as you would in April or let's say February or June, right? So seasonality plays an important role. This is important. Now, one thing we have seen, and this is pretty interesting, is that people actually tend to associate sound with their experiences. So, for example, if you get the sound wrong, people hate experiences. People don't realize how grating, like something that's just a little bit off, or how people can actually feel bad because of the bad sound. So even eliminating the sonic trash from people's lives makes a huge difference. So even before you get it right, you just don't want to get it wrong. This is really important. So it's also important to get the volume correctly. So for most businesses, it should be loud enough that people can hear it, but not too loud, not so loud that it becomes their focus or requires them to shout to be heard. So this is something you need to thoroughly think about. Very important. Now, if you have been listening to me so far, I want to give you a bonus here, and I want to talk to you about instruments. Okay, it's really important to understand that you need to think about an instrument guide as you're trying to really navigate the whole sound marketing things. After understanding and reflecting on this concept that I just spoke to you about, choosing the right type of music for your unique company is also important. This could be a daunting task, so it's important. It's important and also impossible, by the way, to define exactly how each type of music affects people. Okay, and so basically, what we have seen in our research is we have seen that some types of instruments actually provide some kind of feelings. Okay, for example, you have strings. Strings will actually convey rather. Strings will convey warmth, scale or scope, passionate, uplifting. Horns, power, elegance, impact, importance, strength, honor, bravery, and heroism. Synthesizers, you have modern, forward-thinking, evolutionary. Piano or percussions, you have heartfelt, emotive, personal, driving energy, velocity, or anxiety. Drums, you have a driving, motivating, primal, and communal. You have electric guitar, you have a power, the youthful energy, and rebellion. In terms of emotions and sounds, you have, and this is something that the University of California, Berkeley, actually did some research a couple of years ago, and they found that they actually identified 13 emotions provoked by different kinds of music. It's just fantastic. So, amused, you have upbeat, high pitched songs like, yakety sax and slat whistles. Annoyed, unstructured, and dissonant sounds like very modern jazz. Anxiety, suspenseful music with sudden changes in tone. Appreciative, you have beautiful music, including many classical pieces such as, you know, uh, Pechelbel canons and Beethoven's Für Elise. Okay. Cheerful, upbeat to medium tempo songs and sounds. You have a dreamy, slow flowing music or sounds with a repetitive theme, such as lullabies. You have energized, so upbeat music such as rock with guitar riffs, club and dance music. Okay, this is really important to think about that. You have sultry, slow music and slower notes like songs by Al Green and Marvin Gaye. Defiant, rock and heavy metal music like Joan Jett and or the Beastie Boys. Sad, slow music with deep piano sounds like Adele's "Hello" or Olivia Rodrigo songs. Afraid, very slow dramatic music. Okay, or triumphant, soaring arithmetic music such as the Star Spangled Banner. So what I'm trying to say here is that when choosing your music or sound, consider other sensory characteristics of your brain and business location, such as the color and shape of your logo and your business decor, and make sure they are compatible. Before I close to this conversation, let me give you the approach that you need to follow when it comes to driving sales using sound. It's important to evaluate your marketing strategy. I mean, everything starts with your marketing strategy and ends with your marketing strategy. Okay. After you've done some critical evaluation and implemented new music or sounds into your business, how can you tell if it's leading to more sales? The number one thing to look at is the cash register. Okay, you change a variable, and it's like anything else in research. You see how it changes things. Okay, and what's interesting is that there's a different expectations for different kinds of music and different parts of the day. So this means it's important to analyze sales throughout the day and consider how music is affecting those sales. And different pacing or different pacing of traffic times could call for different types of music. Rush hour could make it time to put on fast-paced music, while off-peak hours could benefit from slow music. Okay, it's really important to understand that the time is important, and make sure you are wary of how the time of the day is related to sound. The other way to understand how sound is affecting your business is to ask customers. Sometimes it's just a lot better to ask for feedback directly from the source. So by adding a customer, how he or she felt as he or she is leaving or was leaving the store or business, you can gauge how sound could be influencing the customer's perception of your store. The most important aspect, however, is not to directly ask them what they thought about the music or sound. It's better to understand their overall feeling instead. The key to all of this is experimentation. Okay, so the thing is, you want to have people explore and try little experiments. Something as simple as cash register sales and a little three-question exit poll can make all the difference in the world. So the bottom line here is you can use sound to boost your business. Okay, sound can be a powerful tool if you use it properly. Okay, it's important to experiment. So I really want to insist on that. Trial and error. Trial and error. It's very important. You want to figure out which option works for you and how you can use it to boost your business. And by using sound and music, you can already and you see the results if you after 3 months. Okay, but it depends if you have a regular business. 3 months is really what we have seen in our research. But if you are a store, you can see the results within the same day. Okay, totally possible. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I'll just explain to you how to drive sales using sound. So I gave you an overview about how sound can contribute to your sales, the different types of audio marketing, having a sonic logo, soundscapes, and using music. And in terms of considerations in choosing your sound, choose distinct and memorable sounds. Choose sounds that are specific to your business. Choose the right tempo and consider your audience. And I also give you a little bit about the instrument guide here. But thank you. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.